Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of
It's
this.
a nor'easter.
Yeah, you should. You don't want to be outside here right now.
Unless
Oh,
you're a duck or a goose.
yeah. Even then, considering how bad it is. Uh, somebody, somebody posted on Facebook. When was the first time you used pot?
Oh gosh.
So I thought, this might be a learning experience for some people. I don't know. I don't know exactly how old I was. I would say I was 13 or 14, no more than 15. And I remember the lady's name too, who turned me on. That sounds like a pothead saying "turned me on." Um, who introduced me to it? I won't say her name, but I remember her name. She worked for PADAP, Palmer Drug Abuse Program, out of Houston, which I believe is where they started. I wasn't on the PADAP unit. I had never smoked pot before.
Okay.
And I'm locked up in this place called Houston International Hospital Adolescent Unit. It wasn't called Adolescent Unit. That was the name of the unit I was on. So I guess the unit was called that, but the facility wasn't. And they had a number of, each floor was a different thing. And still had guys coming back who had come back from Vietnam who were still, one guy had lost both his legs. Obviously not on the unit I was on, but I'll say her first name. I won't say her last name. Her first name was Debbie, and she worked on the PADAP unit. And then she takes me out on pass. Well, we're going to go see Queen. She was going to take me to see Queen. She had the tickets, but the charge nurse said no. No way you're going to take him to a rock and roll concert. Not in those days. So I didn't
I
get to.
just wouldn't have told her I'd have it.
Yeah. So
Look, bitch.
she still took me out on pass, but we didn't do it. We went and saw Jaws.
Oh god.
Yeah. And then she had this little boutique.
A what?
A little boutique, a little store. You have to understand, people, this is the 1970s. And white people had the big fros.
Oh god.
And, they would wear the African type. That's kind of what they sold there.
Did you ever wear a fro?
Hell no.
No.
I never wanted to. I was.
Never. Well, maybe.
To me, the most, I don't know how you would say, the hippiest or hippest maybe, with long hair. I never had real long hair. Not like Wesley did.
There's one guy I went to school with. He always had a fro on.
Oh gosh.
Tom Bridges.
Oh my.
And he kind of was the tall guy anyway, and
Oh, so
he got a fro on. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, we go out on pass, we go see Jaws, and we go and hang out at her little boutique where she sold like African kind of looking clothes. Now across the hallway, what do you think was across the hallway? Apple Records. What was Apple Records in the 1970s? It was a combination record store and head shop.
Oh.
Yeah, and they had the little cans of probably a little bigger than this of locker room.
What?
It was something you would open it up, you'd sniff it, you get a legal high from it.
Uh-huh.
But eventually, the state of Texas outlawed locker room. Yeah.
What is it? Locker room?
Yeah, I think that's what it was called. I think it was called locker room. It wasn't called foot locker. I don't think it was called foot locker. I think it was locker room. I think. That was a long time ago, people. Long time ago.
It's hard to remember.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking the 1970s here. I was a teenager, but anyway, after that, what did we do? We went over to her place. She pulls this cookie tin down.
Uh-oh.
I'm not, I wasn't a part of that culture.
It's a cookie tin.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then she rolls a joint. And we pass it back and forth.
Did she have to teach you?
Yeah, I think she
How to
did.
smoke it?
Well, I knew how to smoke cigarettes, but
Well,
I didn't know how to smoke that. So yeah,
a joint.
she probably did. And we're leaving our house, and she says, "Are you high?" I'm like, "No." She says, "Look at me." And I look at her, and she looked in my eyes. I guess they were bloodshot. I don't know. She said, "You're high."
And she almost fall down the steps. Ah!
Then we go back to HIH. What do you think happened when I got back?
Uh-oh.
They did, every time I went back, I had to do a UA. Everybody had to do a UA. For those who don't know what a UA is, it's a urinalysis. Some of the kids had to actually have full body cavity searches. Thankfully, I never had one of those. Not there, anyway. And,
You couldn't get away with it, could you?
nope. And my UA came back positive.
And
So,
you really got hell.
yep. And my shrink decided, oh, well, he's a drug addict. I smoked one joint.
One freaking joint, shut up.
Yeah, and I got sent to Edgemead, which actually wasn't a bad experience, believe it or not. And you know the people there are like, he's just a typical teenager. You know, I mean the people at Edgemead, they're like, he's just a typical teenager. So, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not one of those people
It's my kitty.
that's really against smoking pot. I don't think you should really start it when you're that young.
I don't really think that the government should be allowed to get into it.
You know, I agree. I mean, I
just want it for the money.
Yeah.
Look at my baby.
Oh. But anyway, I mean, if you're going to start smoking pot, please wait till you're in your 20s, 30s.
Look at his claws.
Yeah, they're fish hooks. If you could see what my wife is doing with our cat right now, he's just letting her do it.
Yeah, he's just like fish hooks claws, you know.
Big fish hook, like shark fish hooks. But anyway, folks, I just thought I would share that with you.
He just let me just laying there, letting me squeeze his paws out.
They're thick. It's okay, John boy.